So what is inflation? Why is it rising? Why are people worried? And what do interest rates have to do with it? I'm Ronen, VP of Operations here at ET Transport, and in today's video, I'm going to try to explain inflation and how it affects the trucking industry. All you truck drivers, owner-operators, and lease operators, this channel is all about trucking. So let's start with the definition. Inflation is when there is more money in the economy than stuff to spend it on. Imagine our city, whether it's Toronto, Chicago, Dallas, and you want to purchase things like food, gas, and clothes. Then one day in our city, the government shows up and says they're worried about the economy in our city. That's where they chime in to control the interest rates charged when taking out a loan. Then the government decides to lower interest rates to 1% and want to encourage regular people like us to take out loans and spend it. Oh, and at the same time, they drop money to the city, pumping more money to families, giving people that euphoric feeling of being rich, but not actually. Many people in the city have a wish list to purchase fancy gadgets, upgrade their cell phones, and finally get that pickup truck before all this cash they received. Now, the stores have never seen these sales volumes. Trucks, trailers, flatbeds all fall under this same roof. This is great for business, but everyone is running out of inventory in the stores. Manufacturing companies and store owners can't keep up with the demand. So what's the next best thing to do? Stores increase their inventory prices. We, the people, have more money to spend than all the stores and manufacturing plants can produce. That's when all businesses in all kinds of industries raise their prices. This is inflation, a natural part in our economy. It's a good thing in small numbers because it means that the economy is growing. Here's an example. Steer tires in the 90s used to be $150, and now they're just about $800 or more. With these inflated and outrageous price hikes, who wants to spend $800 on a tire? Not me, so let's go back to the cities and see what happens. The manufacturing company has doubled prices on trailers, brakes, drums. Because of low interest rates, manufacturing companies spend the money to increase production. And this is great for business. But eventually, the government's money runs out, and the manufacturing prices are still almost double the price. And soon, all these manufacturing companies will not have people to purchase the products factories have invested in, and now these factories will soon need to lay off employees, decrease production, and start lowering prices. This is actually called recession. When COVID shut down the world, governments both in Canada and the US gave us money, lots of money. They didn't want people to hide their money. They wanted the people to continue spending and keep the economy going. Stimulus checks, unemployment checks, child tax credits, welfare. Here in Canada, the CERB, wage subsidy for business, rent subsidy for business, lowering interest rates, free business loans that you didn't have to pay back. But the bad thing is, lots of people that didn't need the help got the help and received money from the government. Free money for almost everyone. And we all spent it. And the new generation, the young adults, late teens, they are getting used to money just literally coming from the sky. The government. We all got these big checks from the government, so everyone went nuts and was on a spending spree. All this spending with factory producing supply chain issues. We have an economy that has a lot of money, but producers can't produce at this pace and keep up with the demand. So what do they all do? At the same time, increase prices. Volvos, Freightliners, dry vans, flatbeds, you name it. And this is inflation. And nobody cared about paying these prices because trucking companies were seeing record-breaking numbers, profits, charging and billing through the roof for transportation. We are starting to understand. But now it's time for me to pop that bubble and introduce interest rates within trucking. Federal Reserve's interest rates, both in Canada and the US, have a central bank, the one who controls the money, literally the puppet master of the economy and the bank of all banks. Now, they are not a normal bank that traditionally stores money and lends it out for profit. The central bank in the US, which is called the federal bank, and in Canada it's called the Bank of Canada, a bank that is run by the government, and their job is to set the rules and policies that all the other banks have to follow. And the central bank is not motivated by profit, and their job is to babysit the economy and make sure that it's growing. People have jobs and make sure that prices don't fluctuate as much, so we don't have any slowdowns or recession. But in all honesty, the feds are puppet masters and we are the puppets. They can inject money into our economy, indirectly make us spend a lot of our own money, which affects businesses. that dictate the selling prices. And it totally works. And now the beauty of it all, the strings that affect us most, interest rates. Want to borrow money to buy that truck, trailer, flatbed, or whatever it is that you need to advance your business? You will be a lot more likely to do it if you were to be charged 2 or 3% interest on that loan as opposed to 6%. Let's take last year for an example. I created a video about 8 months ago on interest rates when purchasing a truck. I had handpicked the companies that I wanted my audience to work with, created a form, and made these companies compete for any financing needs of my audience. In that video, with good credit, through my link that I created, anybody would be able to get financing between 5 to 6%. And mediocre credit, you would need to pay 11 to 12%. Now, because of the interest rate hikes, because of the federal banks, that same person is getting funded at 9% with good credit and 14 to 15% with mediocre credit. So now you might want to think twice about purchasing a new truck, because this interest rate hike could mean the difference in monthly payments for your new truck in the amount of $3,400 when interest rates were low, and now $3,900 when the interest rates are high. So during the pandemic, the federal bank said they need people to continue spending money. So they injected trillions of dollars into the economy and dropped interest rates significantly. And people borrowed and people spent and everything was great. Freight rates were up about 100%, so people didn't care to spend $80,000 on a new dry van, when the year prior they were purchasing them for $45,000. So lower interest rates helped stimulate the economy. Lots of money was injected into our economies. Businesses could not keep up, so they significantly increased the prices of all products. At the same time, a new truck went from $175,000 to $225,000 within 3 to 6 months. And still, with these price hikes, all these truck manufacturing companies could not keep up. And that, my friend, is inflation. So when we get the data, then in the US, inflation is at 8.5%, and in Canada, it's 6.8%. This means that your $100 bill last year is actually worth only $92 this year. That same money is just worth less because you can no longer purchase that same amount of products for the same $100 bill. Your purchasing power just got diluted. Now, imagine if inflation was 25% or 50%. That same $100 bill is only worth $50. Then we would fall into a recession and could also lead us to a depression. And that's what the federal banks are for. They are built to try to avoid recession. And in order to avoid recession and depression, they start raising interest rates. So, is now a good time to get into trucking? Absolutely. Is it a good time to purchase a truck? You might just want to watch this next video that I created not too long ago on is now a good time to purchase a semi-truck. I'm Ronen, and this channel is all about trucking. We give you the latest news and the most up-to-date information. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe.
And like, and hit the bell.
Oh, enough already.
I'll see you next time.
And I'll see you. Like, hit the bell. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. You got it all.